The Nazca Desert in southern Peru is one of the driest places on Earth, a vast, sun-scorched canvas of rock and sand. For centuries, this desolate landscape has guarded its secrets. Stretching for miles are the famous Nazca lines, colossal geoglyphs etched into the earth over 2,000 years ago. Gigantic figures of hummingbirds, spiders, and monkeys stare up at the sky, their forms only visible from above. The Nazca vanished over 1,500 years ago, leaving behind these enigmatic drawings and a culture shrouded in mystery. Now the desert is about to reveal a new secret, one even more mysterious than the giant drawings. A secret in the form of small, desiccated bodies with features that did not seem to belong to this world. In 2017, whispers from Peru set the world of ufology ablaze. Jaime Maussan, a Mexican journalist, announced a find that sounded like science fiction. Strange, mummified bodies had been unearthed from a secret cave in Nazca. These beings, according to Maussan, did not fit into terrestrial evolution. Reports sparked excitement and deep skepticism. The beings were small, with elongated skulls and tridactyl hands. Images and videos circulated online, fueling wild speculation. Tomb raiders reportedly found the site while searching for artifacts. The lack of a proper excavation cast doubt over the affair. The bodies were preserved by the desert's aridity and diatomaceous earth. The mystery had just begun. At the center of this controversy is Jaime Maussan, a figure who has spent decades investigating UFO phenomena. To his supporters, he is a fearless truth seeker. To his critics, a showman with a history of promoting questionable claims. His presentation of two small bodies to the Mexican Congress in 2023 forced the story into the international spotlight. On the other side stands the scientific establishment, represented by figures like Flavio Estrada, a Peruvian forensic archaeologist. Estrada analyzed some specimens and concluded they were fakes, assembled from a mix of animal and human bones. However, other scientists, like Dr. Jose Zalce, insist they are real biological organisms with no signs of assembly. This clash of experts creates a bewildering landscape for anyone trying to find the truth. Are some of the bodies fake while others are real? The Peruvian journalist Joyce Mantilla suggests that debunked dolls were distractions from genuine articles. This cast of characters ensures that the Nazca mummy case remains a deeply compelling puzzle. The mystery continues to unfold. To understand the depth of this mystery, you have to meet the mummies themselves. The most famous is Maria, a larger specimen, carbon dated to between 240 and 383 AD. She has 3-fingered hands, an elongated skull, and lacks external ears. Then there is Monserrat, a smaller being, estimated to be between 1,200 and 1,600 years old. CT scans revealed she was pregnant, with a fetus having an elongated skull and 3-fingered hands. Proponents claim this is impossible to fake. In December 2024, 2 new mummies, Paloma and Antonio, were discovered. Paloma is the first of her kind to be found with hair, challenging the idea that these beings were hairless. Antonio was found with a significant stab wound, suggesting a violent cause of death. The discovery of Paloma and Antonio has reignited the debate, providing fresh evidence for believers and posing difficult questions for skeptics. These are not just specimens. They are characters in a drama that spans millennia. The mystery deepens. The argument for the authenticity of the Nazca mummies rests on scientific testing by a dedicated group of researchers. Led by Dr. Jose Zalce, this team has used high-resolution CT scans to peer inside the mummies. They reveal skeletons with proper joints, internal organs, and patterns of bone wear consistent with a living organism. Dr. Zeltz and his colleagues claim the skin is real, not paper or plastic. and that it seamlessly connects to the underlying bone structure. They point to fine details, like fingerprints, as evidence that is incredibly difficult to forge. The analysis of new mummies, Paloma and Antonio, by Dr. David Ruiz Vela, has strengthened this position. He claims these beings have brain structures and organ systems similar to humans, yet housed within a non-human frame. The discovery of Paloma's copper-colored hair challenges the hoax theory. Proponents argue that the scientific community's rush to label the mummies a hoax is premature. They contend that official debunking efforts have focused on a few crudely made fakes, ignoring compelling evidence from primary specimens. They call for open, transparent, and collaborative research. The mystery remains unsolved. Digging deeper into the case for authenticity reveals even more bizarre evidence. Researchers discovered small metal plates embedded under the skin of some bodies. Scans show the skin and bone tissue had grown around these implants, suggesting advanced medical procedures. The composition of these metal implants adds another layer of high strangeness. Analysis revealed they are made of rare alloys, including osmium and pure silver. This raises questions about who possessed the technology to create these alloys and perform these surgeries over 1,000 years ago. Then there is the DNA evidence, one of the most contentious aspects of the case. Jaime Maussan's initial claim was that about 1/3 of the genetic material was unknown. The team's geneticists argue that the sequences they have recovered point to a unique organism. Finally, Monserrat and her unborn child are seen as the smoking gun. The fetus mirrors the mother's anatomy with stunning precision, something proponents argue could not be faked. The mystery deepens. While the story told by proponents is compelling, there is an equally forceful narrative of modern fraud. In January 2024, a peer-reviewed study led by forensic archaeologist Flavio Estrada was published. Estrada declared the figures were not mummies, but recently manufactured dolls. His team found the bodies were assembled from a collection of animal and human bones. The long fingers were made from human bones, held together by modern adhesives. A Peruvian prosecutor's report from 2023 had reached a similar conclusion. Skeptics argue this is a pattern of deception, suggesting Maussan and his associates are promoting a hoax. They question the credentials and methodologies of the pro-authenticity team. Skeptics maintain this is a classic case of pseudoscience, where extraordinary claims lack extraordinary verifiable evidence. The mystery remains unsolved. Just as the scientific community seemed ready to close the book on the Nazca case, the story took another turn. The discovery of Paloma and Antonio in December 2024 challenged the narrative of deception. Paloma's full head of copper-colored hair raised questions about the possibility of forgery. Antonio's violent death added a dramatic new dimension. For believers, this is further proof of their reality. Proponents like Dr. Zalce insist that the specimens analyzed by Estrada's team were not the same ones they have been studying. They argue that crude fakes were introduced to discredit the entire discovery. The exact location of the cave where Paloma and Antonio were found is kept secret, adding to the mystery. Every new piece of evidence creates more questions than answers. The mystery is far from over. We stand at a crossroads of belief and skepticism, lost in the dust of the Nazca Desert. On one path, an unprecedented biological discovery challenges the foundations of human history. On the other, a tale of modern deception warns us to be wary of claims that seem too strange to be true. The case of the Nazca Mummies has become a battleground for these two worldviews. Every piece of evidence is interpreted differently depending on which path you are on. The conflict between experts leaves us in a state of profound uncertainty. We are caught between the desire to believe and the intellectual rigor that demands we question everything. The truth remains buried under layers of controversy and conflicting data. The saga continues to unfold, with promises of more evidence keeping the world on edge. Have we truly begun to uncover the secrets of the Nazca Mummies? Or is the biggest revelation still waiting to be unearthed?